Well, as the holidays approach, your children might be asking you for the newest smartphone, tablet, or whatever device.
Also, with the kids out of school for about 2 weeks, a lot of downtime, a lot more time to spend on those screens. But how do you monitor their use and really help them from becoming addicted?
Right there on your screen, child psychologist Dr. Richard Freed. He's the author of this, Wired Child, Reclaiming Childhood in a Digital Age. He joins us live in the studio this morning. Why don't you think, doctor, or maybe it seems to me that some parents don't actually realize or recognize that the kids are pulling away from them? That these devices, you know, I'll sit there because I'm guilty. We'll pull it out at a restaurant every now and then for 10 minutes, you know, and I'm just, there's no conversation, you know.
We're really
and
told
I feel
that
they're being pulled away from me, and it's the device.
We're really told that these devices bring us closer as a family. Oh, connect with your kids. But what we don't realize is kids get obsessed with them and often take them off to their own spaces, live their lives out in their room, oftentimes at the expense of family.
There's a big debate at our school. Last year, my big boy was in second grade, and there was a second grader who had her mom's old cell phone. Is there a perfect age for people to start? I know it's individual. What gauge that for me?
I wish I could say that there's a great age to get kids a smartphone. Anytime you need to get your kids like a basic phone to be in touch with them, that's fine because you're doing that for their safety. But a smartphone is really, we don't have a great age for that because unfortunately what we're seeing just in the last maybe a few weeks is any age we get a kid a smartphone, it pulls them away from family, it puts them at risk for depression, and it puts them at risk for not doing as well in school.
And one of the things that you mentioned, because I've heard you speak to parents before, that we are creating a society of boys, girls too, but more so boys, who end up stuck in their room playing video games on mom's couch until they're 30. This wasn't a problem. I mean, this is going to reach where kids may not even get jobs because they're so addicted.
It's really interesting. We see it's very different for boys and girls. Boys are drawn more to gaming. And you're right, we have a generation of boys who aren't going off to college. 57% of college admissions are girls, 43% are boys. And then we just have recent economic research showing boys are staying home on their parents' couch, gaming away and not going off and getting jobs. Girls, on the other hand, they're more attracted to smartphones, social media. That's what's pulling them into their rooms. And they are more at risk for depression.
So you talk about social media, and some people may interpret that as socialization, that I'm socializing through social media instead of actually interacting
Going to the mall
face to
with
face.
me, right?
What do you foresee in the future with socialization and how that affects our children the earlier they get on these devices?
What's so interesting is social media, smartphones are all sold to us to connect with us, but they are pulling kids apart. One of the things that we're really seeing is we have kids who get more lonely when they actually get these devices because there's this fear of missing out. Kids just scroll through these pages of kids looking like they're having a great time without them. So they start to turn against themselves, feel empty, get depressed.
Dr. Freed, at our house we have two little boys, 7.5 and 9. In the past 2 weeks, we introduced screen time to them. So we held off about as long as we could.
Good for you.
They each get 20 minutes twice a week. We set the timer, we warn them halfway, but when 20 minutes dings, one of them freaks when we take away the iPad. How can we make that release a little bit less distressing for all of us?
That's such a good question. All the parents I work with, when I go talk at schools, that's what they're telling me. These devices are so powerful, increasingly built by psychologists, increasingly built by neuroscientists working towards vulnerabilities. You have game designers who say, my job is to take every single voluntary activity that a person has and pull that away and put them on the game. So it is really tough. I like your idea of doing your best to say, here's the limit. If it's not working out, and some kids push back in my practice in a really difficult sort of way. I've got parents calling the police when kids get a little bit older.
No, we're not there. But
No, it's the company. It's really the company's fault. I mean, their goal is to get children addicted.
And to add on to
this,
that,
right?
and to add
More
on
profit.
to that, the people who run these companies, the parents, the Steve Jobs of the world, they make this technology, but they don't allow their own kids to use it.
When I talk with parents and go talk around the country, I say, I want you to parent like a tech exec. because we see Steve Jobs, Bill and Melinda Gates did not get their kids smartphones until they were 14 years of age. If more parents did that, I think we'd have kids much less depressed and doing much better in school.
Okay, so much to talk about. Thank you for joining us. Keep this all in mind as your little ones are asking for those things at the holidays. Dr. Richard Fried, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Doctor.
We will be right back.